Claudette Ferro, the visionary founder of Alinéa, is redefining the fashion industry by intertwining style with sustainability and ethics. With a commitment to creating change one garment at a time, she has built a brand that challenges norms and inspires conscious choices. In this interview, Claudette shares the defining moments behind Alinéa's journey and the future she envisions for fashion.
Thank you so much, Claudette Ferro, for joining us here on AwareNow to share this space and to share your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So here's the thing, Claudette, when most people see a plastic straw, they think of something to drink. When you see a plastic straw, you think fashion. So please share, and you started sharing a moment ago, please share the story behind this vision. Where did this come from?
It started back in 2018. My friend and I were having a girls' night out, and we were talking about the issue with plastic pollution. And so we had a few straws, a few cups, and we started upcycling. We started putting the straw in a melting glue gun, and that didn't work, but I didn't give up. We started cutting the straws and playing around with it without melting it. But then I cut it in little pieces and I put it in a flour, and then I put the heat on top of it, and it fused into this perfect little flower that we call the Alinéa flower. And I just ran with it and started making jewelry. Now I'm making fashion, I'm making tops. I'm working on a dress right now. It's been taking me forever because the process is intense. Like, I have to first source all the straws. I obviously don't use new straws. So I'm either asking my friends to save them. I work with local coffee shops for them to save them for me in the back. And so every week I'll probably pick them up and then clean them and then, cut them and arrange them and fuse them and then build the actual design that I have in my head. And it's been a way for me to merge my passion. So Alinéa means to align. And the real reason I'm doing this is not because I'm a fashion designer, but it's for a good cause. I would like to sell my pieces and with it create funds to then donate to charities. That's the thing. And that's really why I'm doing it.
It's awesome. Your work is phenomenal, and to your point, the alignment behind it is equally so. So your journey to founding Alinéa, it must have been just this tapestry of both challenges and triumphs. Can you share a pivotal moment that shaped the brand's vision and your dedication to making a difference through fashion?
Yeah, I think I've had two of those moments, really. It was whenever I found the way to create the Alinéa flower. Shortly after that, I went to get my master's in London, and I signed up myself for this city entrepreneur pitch, weekend, a pitch, what do you call it? Presentation?
Yeah.
And it was the first time I had gotten on stage and shared that. So I obviously froze because public speaking is not my forte. Someone was like, just speak from the heart. And it just kind of flowed. And then I got selected to continue developing that idea. So that was the starting point, I guess. But recently I was at New York Fashion Week because Sumi found my Instagram and she was like, wow, your designs are hardcore and dainty and very feminine. So it's very different. Not a lot of people are playing around with plastic straws. So being able to go to New York and seeing my piece on stage and seeing how well it was taken, I think that was the highlight of Alinéa. And I'm excited to see where it keeps going. But through all of that, also I've struggled through my Alinéa journey, career-wise. I've had a lot of changes. Also, changes in like being in a relationship and no longer being in one, things of that. But everything else is good. Like my family, I'm really grateful for. We're all healthy, and so I'm just very grateful that I have the time, and now I'm set to where I can work on my art, but do things that I'm like passionate about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That fusion of like passion and purpose all coming together.
Yes, it's lovely.
So Alinéa is known for its commitment then to ethical, sustainable practices. Yeah, because I didn't, until you just said it, that, get some straws, because you have to go source straws. You can't just buy them, of course, because it just adds to the problem, but you're correcting the problem. What personal experiences or influences have driven this passion of yours for creating a brand that not only celebrates style, but also, to your point, as you just said, respects our planet and its people? Where does that passion in you come from?
I think it's my background. So my family is Peruvian. I wish I was closer to them. I wish I was, could spend more time over there. But over there, we're really big about Mother Earth, Pachamama, and how we should respect Mother Earth and be mindful of how we use its generous resources. One of them is oil, and I wouldn't say that with my art. I'm not that kind of person who's like, no more straws, like no more oil. Like, I can't say that. I feel weird saying that because my dad is in oil and gas, and he gets, and my brother is like alive with that. So we're grateful for that. But now it's coming to a point where it's like, okay, like, do we really need to sip on this little thing for 5 minutes, however much it takes us to drink a latte, and then toss it, like, and not even think, where is this going? I don't know. Like, I don't see a plastic straw that has been used as trash. Like, I see it as raw resources that could be created into something else, and it could be created into something that could benefit health. Because the whole thing, like, the straw will go into probably the ocean, microplastics, blah, blah, blah. But I'm seeing it as a way to kind of stop that, or like divert that, and be able to put my pieces, it could hopefully one day, like in the museum, like thing in the past. But now it's like pieces that people could wear, and they're different. And, if someone compliments you could say, oh yeah, this is upcycled from straw.
Yeah.
Just having that mind blownness.
Yeah, quite similar to my mind blown when I saw your feed and I saw your work. I said, what?
Yeah,
straws? This is straw.
It's like, it's my background. It's just like having an appreciation for the earth. And I mean, things, I don't know where things are going to go, but I don't like to think about that, because then depression and like anxiety. But this my little contribution, my little sand, if you will.
Well, it's beautiful. And I like the word that you chose to use there, to divert, right? We can divert this way. And the way that you, it's phenomenal. So let's talk about fashion, the fact that it does have the power to tell stories and to, as you're showing, to inspire change. So how do you hope that Alinéa will influence the way people think about their wardrobe choices, and just the impact that the choices have on our world?
Yeah, I hope that whenever someone uses my pieces, they feel confident that they're not only addressing the problem with plastic pollution, but like the vision for Alinéa is not only for myself to upcycle, but I would like to teach others, women, how to upcycle, women who maybe are in difficult positions in their life, or they just want to be more financially independent. So wearing something that, oh wow, I've helped like a bunch of people, just by having this piece on, like I want them to feel proud about that.
And even if it just gives people reason to pause, right?
Yeah, it gives them oh, okay, I didn't think about a straw that way. And then if you think about it a little further, it's like, oh, well, could this straw fund healthcare? Could waste fund healthcare. And I keep going back to the healthcare thing because like that is, I studied that, like that is my passion. So could you grab a negative, which is plastic pollution, and a negative, which is health, inequity, and merge them and create a positive? And so that's been like in my head for a while, and through my pieces I'm trying to like prove a point that like waste could in fact be appreciated by someone, and they would pay for it, and then I would be able to grab that to do something that I genuinely want to do and I'm passionate about. So it's kind of like a little circle if you think about it. Like I'm diverting straw, and then I'm trying to make the plastic kind of and be put for good, if you will. Like
Yeah. No, and that makes complete sense how you explained it to take. Because it's funny because people say two wrongs don't make a right. But what if you take waste and you take inequity in healthcare and you're able to take these two wrongs and find a way to make it right? So many founders face moments of doubt. Was there ever a time when you questioned your path with Alinéa? And if so, what gave you the strength to keep going on it?
Yeah, I would say it came from my own family too. From my dad. I love my dad. I'm thankful for my dad. He brought up a really good point, which is the fumes that come up whenever you're upcycling. Like those aren't healthy either. So initially, like I wasn't really being mindful with like my practices, but then I like researched it and I figured out like which mask I need to wear. And whenever it's not like excruciatingly hot outside in Houston, like I'll upcycle outside and use the mask as well. But he brought up that point that, is it really sustainable if at the end, like you're grabbing the plastic, which, okay, it might end up in the water, but then you're taking it home, washing it, and then fusing it and creating these gases as well. So it's like it's a double-ended sword. Like, is it positive? Is it not? Like, and it's difficult to really pinpoint that. But it really kind of made me stop and think, like, is this the right thing? And I considered like taking down my Instagram and just like stopping, but I don't know. I figured like I could always alternate. I could be more, I could communicate the importance of wearing a mask. I could show videos that I'm always wearing a mask. I could address these things and still be able to create. And but it really did kind of make me reflect and take a little step back and just kind of take it slow. But that was a pivotal moment. And I don't know if my dad's still like he's like, what is she doing? But I think it's better because I wear the mask, and whoever else wants to join me in upcycling, like I have an extra mask. So
And I love that. Sometimes that's the way of it, right? That a moment of doubt will empower you to do something or to do something better or
change it a little bit.
Yeah. So those moments of doubt can sometimes be very helpful and required in our growth. So Alinéa, it's about creating a movement then, right? So I guess my last question for you is this: how do you envision the future of fashion, and what role do you hope that Alinéa will play in that transformation?
Yeah, I mean, I think the future is upcycling, really. Like, I don't know if it's because I've just recently came back from New York and I was introduced to all these upcycling artists and how creative they can be with like scraps and things, and just it's just way more cooler than whatever you can find at Zara, like it brings value, and like seeing their hands and like after meeting them, like, their personalities and seeing how much effort they're putting on a piece. It's not just a garment, like it's someone there creating it with their heart and soul, and their time. So I think that's we're going to start seeing fashion differently. Like, we're going to appreciate and think, like, where is this coming from? Like, who created this? Because it doesn't just like poof, pop and appear, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that Alinéa could help in, I don't know, I think looking at plastic in a different way, like looking at plastic not as trash, but like, could it as like money perhaps? Could it be something that you could tweak and create arts and structures and stuff to unleash your creative and do something positive for the world? Alinéa is more of an invitation to think about plastic in a different way. Like, you know, have a night with yourself and get a few plastic cups and see what you can create. How about that?
Right.
and can this creation provide experiences for you? Like, I would have never thought that a plastic straw would get me invited to New York Fashion Week, you know, like, or whatever opportunity else is coming up for me. But I'm grateful and I'm happy that I have been able to find a way to do that and for me to share that with others.
Well, I'm grateful for it too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, Claudette, sharing your story, sharing this beautiful Alinéa with me, with the world. Thank you for helping all of us become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much.
So much.